Hello,
Hello
hello.
there.
Well, today we're going to chat about how our mental health affects our eating. So, so many times we want to look like everybody else, right? Um, we got people posting pictures that are airbrushed, all these celebrities or these up and coming wannabes, or I guess I can't call people wannabes, right? But all these people posting their airbrush pictures and not showing reality. So we grow up in a society where everybody's trying to look like somebody else that they see in a picture, right? And I know I'm not going to just say women, but a lot of times women, because I can only speak for a woman, um, they get caught up in wanting to be a certain size, looking at somebody's picture, because I could never be, I personally, mentally, I do not want to be any bigger than I am. So a lot of the times growing up, I guess it wasn't, I don't know, growing up, but once I got in the military, I know, for instance, for me, I got on the Depo Provera shot, and one of the side effects was weight gain. You know, you say to yourself, "Oh, it's gonna be okay, right? I don't need to worry about that because I'm good." But then when you actually step back and look at yourself in a picture or something else, because the people around you, they don't really say anything. And I'm not saying that they don't love you, but they think you're fine, right? But we got to deal with ourselves mentally. So when you sit down and say, "Oh, you look good," if I don't feel like I look good, then that's where the battle comes in. But killing yourself to be what somebody else you think thinks you should be, right? Because some women say, "Oh, I want to be a size 2." But is that really cute? Is that cute on you? Is that healthy for you? Because in reality, we could say that, "Oh, I want to be a size 2, but my body makeup doesn't allow me to be a 2." Or people say, "Oh, she looks so good." I know I have a friend, she always tells me, "Y'all little people, y'all skinny girls always think that this and this." And, we all have our own thought process and concept about how comfortable we are. But you have to ask yourself, your comfortability or where you want to be, is that healthy for you? Right? All these crash diets, all these quick fixes, we're going to take some, what's that stuff? Hydroxycut. We take hydroxycut, or we do the extreme where we don't take care of ourselves, or on the front, right? We showing everybody, we go to lunch with the job, we go to lunch with a significant other if you're not married, or even when you're married, you hide it. And instead of being upfront and being real about the things you're going through, you find reasons to cover up or mask what you're doing. So I know from a woman's perspective, I could see, but can you tell us from a man's perspective how it works? Like when it comes to mental health, how does weight play a part in a man's life?
Well, it's men, not to say women are not, but men are pretty competitive.
Okay.
So we tend to size each other up
Okay.
in public, and yeah, and that's regardless of where we're at, we size each other up. We're not like women. We don't compliment, like, "Oh, hey, girl, look at you. Oh my God, what you been doing?" No, we don't do that. It's more of a, "Man, hey, you look great, man. Oh my God, what do you want? What are you taking? What's
Okay.
your routine like?"
Yeah.
And you don't really know how bad your body is because you think, "Oh, I still look good. I'm not like I used to look,
Yeah.
but I still look good."
Yeah.
Until you see somebody who has never lowered his standards as far as the way his body looks, and then he sees you, which happened here recently, and it was a shock and awe moment because I was happy to see him, but the size of this man is just he was always a big guy. He always worked out. He always ate very good.
Okay.
He has a lot of discipline. He has a lot of motivation. And when you don't have these type of people around you, someone to I guess be that example of what you want to look like, then you don't really you don't really focus and have the discipline to do it. That's one good thing about the military, and especially my background in the infantry, because we were all males, so we were very competitive, especially in the infantry. Um, and when you get away from these individuals, you tend to lose focus on, hey, there's no one to really talk about me. There's no one to say, man, look at you, yo, look at you, man, what happened? Or because they would always keep it real.
Uh-huh.
But when I seen him a few months ago, along with two other my friends, it used to be my soldiers, but we're all like very good friends now and brothers. And the minute I saw him, I was shocked because they surprised me with it. I was shocked because he was my goodness. Everybody, they were just staring at him. I was staring at him, and we went to go play top golf. And here I am. They wanted me to hit the ball, and all I wanted to do was talk about, what are you doing, man? What do you look at you? Everybody's looking at you. I mean, yeah, granted, he's like 5'3", but still.
But you
So
just
I'm like,
see you coming for him because he's 5'3", but
well, because that's how we are too. We come for each other. And when we come for each other, it just makes us even more hungry, and it gives us a drive to actually do better for ourselves. But that's all I wanted to talk about with him. Like, man, what are you doing? What are you on? And the sad thing about this is what he's telling me, someone has told me about it as well.
mm,
That person being you.
mm,
So he says, are you drinking enough? And I know I tend to emulate a few people out there and start talking like them. I'm like, but what are you doing? Like, just wait. Let me just back up. And it's kind of embarrassing to say this, but it's the truth. When I first seen him, I was pretty excited. I was like, oh wow, man, what do you want? And when he looked at me, he's like, man, zombie, man, you look good from here up, but from here down, what happened to you? He said, I used to tell people stories about you. And now if I was to introduce you, be like, this the guy you talking about? Him? And it really, I needed to hear that though. And I got it. It's different from hearing it from your loved one, because then somebody that it's just a difference, because even though, and people would say like, you come in, not you're different than most, but they would say, hey, how I look today? Girl, you look good. Oh, you look good. And do they really look good? No, you keep it real. But most people out there, they don't keep it real. Even some men, they don't keep it real. But it hurts to hear that. But it's a difference, because for men, we do a lot of things based off of what someone else is saying about us, or what they think about us. Or we can just let them. We can a lot of men let themselves go because it's kind of okay, because our spouse, it's like giving. Well, the woman always looks good, but the man, he can kind of slack off.
no, we
And,
can't.
and
No, we
see, and
can't.
that's what I want to ask you, because I had this conversation today with somebody. I had this conversation today, and they said it's okay for the man to slack off, but it's never okay for the woman to slack off. So why do men hold women to a higher standard?
That's the truth. And it's when men, I don't know why men hold women to a different standard, but when we met, I told you it was not a thing. Not a thing. Like,
I was swole like a tick. A tick that bit me. I was all swole up.
what? I cannot. But that's the problem. And that's why a lot of women get into this place where they're trying to be a specific size. And that's when they become, you know, emotional eaters, right? Because you get into a situation to where you show up somewhere and the people around you. Now, we talked about this before, right? We have the 30-day challenge, right? You have a list of stuff you cannot eat. And everything is guaranteed if you stick to it. But if you flip-flopping, always looking for that fast, quick fix, your body has no clue what you're doing. So the minute you try something new and you don't even give your body a chance to adjust and you don't flip to the next thing, what do you think it's telling your body? You are destroying yourself mentally, not just physically, mentally, because you cannot deal with the place you're in because of the fact that, okay, today I'm not eating carbs. Hey, you want to come out and eat? What's the first thing that they serve you? Bread.
Yes.
You said you weren't eating carbs, but now you're socially eating to make yourself what? Fit in? I'm going to tell y'all right now, fitting in is something you will never accomplish because everybody is in their own direction, own path. And if you stick to your path and be okay with where you are instead of trying to conform to somebody else's idea of you, you will straight line to where you always want to be. You will never worry. For me, I always say, always be ready, right? Because you're gonna say, oh, the girls want to go on a trip. Girl, I'm gonna have to get ready because I'm gonna
Yes.
be swimsuit ready. But if you're ready all year round, it don't matter what year they pick for this trip. It could be winter, summer. You know, everybody talk about, oh, I put on some winter weight. What the hell is that? What is that? What is winter weight? Because I need somebody to explain it to me. How we sit here and we say, I have. Now, everybody has different emotions, right? We eat for different reasons. We go through things. But if you teach yourself a routine and stick to that routine, the harder it is for you to fall off. So if you get on, let's see, a healthy lifestyle, right? Because that's a cute word people don't like to use. We healthy living. You can say, I don't eat this, I don't eat that. But if in the instance when somebody be like, oh, no, if somebody says, hey, come eat this with us, do you go out and eat what they eat, or you choose what works for you? I cannot. What is it? Then ask your sister. If you go out with somebody, ask your sister. Brianna, stop. If you go out with somebody and they say, oh, we about to eat some wings and pizza, but you don't eat pizza, or you either, it's a two-way street, right? People either say, I'm not gonna go because I don't eat that stuff, or they go and they pretend to eat it. Can you get the little candies for your brother, please? Or they pretend that
you don't lose your train of thought.
They pretend that when you go out and you say, oh, I don't eat pizza, but you sitting there pretending to take nibbles of the pizza. What you pretending for? You don't have, like, I can go out with somebody and sure enough, they say, oh, we gonna get pizza. Well, I want sushi. The sushi is about 10-minute walk down the street. I'm gonna be back. I will be back because I want sushi. I don't need to change who I am for anybody else.
But so when did that start for you? Because you've been doing that for years. Is it because you got the shot? You noticed you were gaining weight.
Oh,
you says, that's a new.
Let's go back.
This is a new life change. Right. Or because not everybody has that drive and that will and that self-determination to stay with healthy eating and staying physically fit.
Okay, so I have always been the physical fit. Like it's something for me. Like personally, I said, you know how I say, people say, oh, I work out, but you work out and you eat like crap, right? Okay. I have always, from the minute growing up, I wasn't taught that. So let's get that right. Let's get that straight. Like growing up, I wasn't taught, oh, go run, work out, do this, do that, do this, that. I changed school so much. I was never in a consistent school, never in any sort of organized, like after school thing, right? Like track. I didn't join track and cross country until my 11th grade year when we moved to Jersey. And the coach, I wasn't going to do none of it because I never did none of that. So the coach was like, I think you should try out. I'm like, try for what? I don't run. I'm not a runner. I don't do that. He was like, well, I think you should try out anyway. So I tried out, end up beating like one of the fastest girls, or keeping up with her. So I was like, okay, this may be something I can get into. So then I decided he was like, well, to keep up for track, you should join cross country. Oh, you to who? The word cross country is a cross country. Like, who goes out and does that? No, I'm not running that far and that long. He was like, come on. He was an amazing coach. He was like, come on, keep you in shape, keep you up for the next, you stay in shape, you stay ready for the next thing. And the cross country. And I talked about it before, where the girl that I was running with, she was one of the top runners. And she was like, stay here, stay back, stay, stay at this pace. You keep running. And that's a lot of the things that I've learned throughout my time and I didn't know that before, but it started to click to me, your intuition. She's like, stay right here. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I feel good. I'm ready to go forward. She's like, no, don't kill yourself, blah, blah, blah. So as the time went on, I started to increase my pace because I'm like, I can't run this pace anymore. It's slowing me down. I started increasing my pace and I end up passing her. But for me, it's at that point in my life, I didn't, little things, so you dabble, right? So it's just like healthy eating, staying in shape, staying, working out, how you eat. I continue to press forward and you pass people up, but mentally you have to be willing and ready to tell yourself, I cannot hold me back for somebody else because they're not ready to go where I'm going. They're not willing to take that chance because in reality, she could have been faster too, but she chose to stay where she was and wanted me to stay with her. And that's with everything in our life. People hold us back and keep us in the same place because they're not willing to go forward or they're not willing to test the waters and step out and do something different. Be great. So when I joined the military, I didn't go right in. So I was running, I wasn't running. I didn't run. So when I went to basic, it was like, you want me to do what? I ain't ran in, it was like 6 months, I think it was, because when I graduated from high school, I was in a delayed enlistment program. So I didn't keep running. I didn't because I didn't think about it. But now I am all about being ready, being prepared for where you want to go. If you say to yourself, and I mean, everybody don't have to run. Let's not go there. People don't think, oh, she talking about everybody got to run. No. You can go out there and walk a mile and still have the same good results if you walk than if you got on there and pound that pavement, as people will say, and run. I know people don't like the elliptical, people don't like the bike. If you go out and walk, and don't walk like at a little slow, cute little Sunday stroll pace, go out there and make your heart rate increase. If you can do a mile, let's say in 20 minutes, right? Because that's reasonable. 20 minutes, you can do a mile. Your goal is to always take it to the next level. So you're always increasing your time. So if it takes you 20 minutes to walk a mile, run a mile, whatever it is today, at the end of the week, make them inches come down, make that time come down, take it to like 15 minutes, So at this point, you're doing a 10-minute mile at a walking pace. Yes, not everybody can do that, but just do what works for you. That I'm just shooting some numbers out there. But anyway, when I got into the military, I realized that basic training, I mean, I'm competitive, right? So we not gonna go into basic and just fail. running was in my blood. It was in me. So I get out there and got into the military, and I was shooting hundreds for my PT test, right? Because it was like, well, I'm sorry, it wasn't PT testing was bikes. We were biking. We rode bikes. We weren't running, but I would run. So when they actually brought running in, I was like, oh, shooting for the goal. I was like, I have to get 100. And I mean, I remember this one time I did a PT test, and the rule was when you're doing a PT test, nobody can be in the area where you have to be running around. So I was stationed in Scott Air Force Base, and it wasn't a track. It was a course where you run to a distance and you turn around and run back. Which I love that because you didn't have to worry about circles. You didn't have to worry about nothing. You ran out, you ran back. You knew where you were going. Circles confuse me. It's like, hold on, how much circles I done did? 10? What? How many? You got to do 13 times? But anyway, so there was I did my time and I had to get it at a specific time to get my 100. So for us, the PT test was run, push-ups, sit-ups, waist. And I always say, control what you can control, right? So if you can control your push-ups, you can control your sit-ups. You can't control anything really in life, but what you can attain. So how many push-ups, knowing what you need, knowing your goal out the box. I ran out there, came back, and my score, I had the girl calculate it right there. And I was like, what was my score? She was like, you got a 98 point somebody. I need to rerun it. She was like, what? I said, my goal was to come out here and get 100. And I missed it by some points. I think it was even 99. I don't even know. It was like really, really close to where it was like, I just needed that extra second. She was like, well, now because they put a lieutenant in charge, she was like, you got to go talk to lieutenant about it. I said, okay. I was like, all right, I'm about to go. I hopped in my car, sweaty and all, after my PT test, went to go see the lieutenant. He so happened to be in his office. And I wasn't by the time I got to his office, I wasn't in a disheveled manner. I was, cooled down. I had on my PT gear and I was talking. I said, hey, sir, hey, I wanted to know if I could come talk to you about my PT test I just took. He was like, yeah, sure, come on in. Hey, I get to talk to him and we're sitting there having a conversation and I'm like, I would like to retake my PT test within, whatever it is the rules say. And he was like, well, that's a good score. I don't know why you would want to take it over. And this is where it gets deep, right? When somebody tells you that your goal, your thought process, what you want
good enough.
You is good enough. It's good enough for them. Never drop what you want for nobody else, not a soul. So he says, I think that's a good score. I said, well, I would like to redo it. He was like, well, if you redo it, you got to do it all. Cool. I'm willing to do that. I just don't understand what the problem is. You had a good score. And I said, well, it wasn't good enough for me. And not to say that I want perfection, right? But perfection is what I wanted, that 100. And yes, nothing really exists. Perfection doesn't exist, but that was my perfection. That's what I wanted for me. So he states that I can't redo the test. So I say, show me in the regulations where it states that I cannot retake my test. He said, okay. He pulled out this thing and it did not state I could not retake my test. So I walked out. We had a conversation. I said, he was like, well, you have to take it within the next 5 days. Cool. I'm good with that. I don't even care. I want this. Leave, go home, come to work the next day. I am being pulled in this man's office with my supervisor and her supervisor because he wrote me paperwork for disrespecting him. Mind you, we walked out in a great, nothing was disrespect. I just told him I want to see it in writing. Because if you're stating I can't do something, show me where I can't do it.
You made him look bad.
I'm not, and that's not what I entailed to do. It was just me and him. It was just the two of us. Nobody would have never known about this conversation.
You were questioning his authority. So at that point, he felt intimidated.
But you know what? That's his problem, not mine. Right?
Because there's a lot of people like that though, too.
And that's fine. But it comes down to, so my supervisor pulls me out and she states to me, she's like, we got to go to the lieutenant's office, blah, 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 because he said you disrespect him. I said, did not disrespect him. So she was like, well, is this a fight you're willing to fight? Yes, it is. Because I'm going to tell you my rights. I want something specific for me. You can't tell me what I cannot have. And plus, to top it off, it was not in writing. You could not tell me I cannot do something if it's not in writing. So we go to his office, and when I tell y'all, he was so, push it open. He was so, like, I got in there. They were like, you can't say nothing. You can't say one word. Don't blink. Don't peep. Don't nothing. Cool. He read it to me. It stated that I came in the office in a disheveled manner, demanding stuff from him, blah, 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 blah. I let them speak. And then at the end, turn that down. At the end, they stated, do you still want to retake your PT test? Yes, I sure do. walked out the office. My supervisor was like, oh, she didn't back me up at all. Everybody just did what, they played the game because he was right. So the first sergeant pulls me up in the hallway and he tells me, you are 100% right about what you stated in there. He was like, but you should have did it a different way. I said, I'm sorry. What different way could I have done this? And he was like, well, you could have just came to one of us and we could have brought it to him. I said, no. I said, because the conversation me and had, he invited me in his office. I asked him if he would, I said, I'm in my PT gear. I just ran my PT test. I was trying to catch you before you left. Do you mind if we have a conversation? Everything was good until I asked him. He said, you should have never questioned the regulation. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I'm going to question every single regulation. I said, because you cannot tell me I cannot do something because you think my score was good enough. Because you thought that I should just be happy with what I got. And that goes for everything in our life. We choose to allow somebody else's thought process to control where we're at. Mm-hmm. And women, they feel as though, and this is something that I am pushing forward to do because I'm going to start a clarity cloud list where we are clear on where we are in our purpose in life, and we stand in our power. And that's just women, men, because a lot of men would have did the same thing. They would have went to him and he would have like, just be good with what you got, and they all would have walked away. But we shouldn't be good with what we got, because if I'm telling you I want something better, you should be like, you know what, you're right. How can I help you get there? But not everybody is mentally ready to help you get to that next level. But it's not about being, and I didn't go in there disrespectful. I didn't even come for him after that. But don't tell me I need to be good with what I got, because I wasn't good with what I have. And that's still in line with what I'm trying to say is mentally we live our lives trying to be what other people have, right? It's our body images, because body images is something people live with for a lifetime. And it starts with when you're young, like how people talk to you. If somebody told you you're fat, you're just fat, right? You're just fat. That's what you're gonna live with the whole time. So every time somebody says something to you, your defense mechanism is to tell them you fat before they tell you you're fat. And that's what we continue to do. It's like, oh, but you look, your face is cute, but you could work. I mean, I would never tell anybody their face is cute, but they could work on their body. No, that's destructive.
So, do you think, going back to what I said about a woman and the way they carry themselves and a man the way they carry themselves, and now that I think about it, I was actually watching, what is it, Kelly and Ryan, or
I think so.
Yeah. So today they have a guest host on there because Kelly is out, and she was talking about this right here, about being comfortable with your body. It was hot, and her and her husband was sitting outside in a birthday suit. They both looked at each other, and she felt like she looks at her husband, and he's in shape.
Yeah.
And she said she looked at herself. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." She apologized because she don't feel like her body was just as good as his.
Okay.
And he said, "Oh, it's okay." But she didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And then she started making up these basically excuses about, well, because, I had kids and this and that. And then, so Ryan had said, okay, well, do you, would you change his diet to make him gain weight to where he's not as fit? Mm-hmm. That way you can kind of be on the same level. But with that, I know men, a lot of us men, and I always say men in all these episodes, because I've always been around men in the infantry world. Yep. We didn't have females. So a lot of things that I've known for, I would say, at least first 17 years was how men think.
Yeah.
And men, if you go talk about the 5 love languages, we are more affectionate people. We want the touch. Mm-hmm. So that words of affirmation, all that stuff, no, it's basically touch. Mm-hmm. That's how men. So that's why, but we know that women, or we think that women are not that way. because as you see, the woman normally keeps herself in good shape. The man, he kind of lets himself go. I met one of my friends not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago. She says, "Oh, she still looks the same. Her body, she looks athletic and stuff." But she said, "But my husband, he has a big belly now, and he accepted that." And then she's like, "Hey, what happened to you?" It's like, well, hold on now. But and for all the viewers out there, I want to know if women look at men about as much as men look at women who are in shape, or do you think that most women would like their man to look better than? Now, I won't say better, but at least to look like they're in shape.
Well, when we met, and
No, that's not the question. Now, what when we met?
Well, I'm just saying, I'm telling you, when we met, I told you getting out of shape was not an option.
Hey,
right?
Well, then I'm about to end this right now and go out and start running.
Do what you gotta do, pimp.
And do some pull-ups.
That was getting. There's a difference, right, of being out of shape as a choice or medical reasons, right? Because there's always a way to keep up.
But what I'm saying is, also a lot of people I know, it ain't really the medical. It's basically, of course, we use excuses. Well, we're getting older, our metabolism slows down, which it does.
Abs are made in the kitchen, boo. Kitchen.
Abs are made in the kitchen. Abs are made in the gym.
It starts in the kitchen. Everything starts with what you are putting in your body. We could say all day, I can't run. You right. It's cool. It's cool you can't run. Maybe somebody can't walk, but what are you eating? What are you eating?
But going back to that question.
Okay.
About women.
Okay.
And
it matters. How a man looks matters. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
100%. I'm not gonna say if you got blubbly fat that we might have to. Me and you may not be a me and you.
You telling me the
are you people gonna come to me and they're gonna say, "Oh, that sounds kind." I don't care if he gets fat. I'm not dealing with his behind, and if I'm gonna own where I'm at because I would prefer not to be with a big man. Some women love big men. Don't get it.
The people that you know, or the women that you've been around, because people really need to hear this. I like to hear things about a man's perspective and a woman's.
Yeah.
Because I had been around men, so
I can't speak for every woman.
You're right, but the women that you know, or the women that you've been around in the military, I want to know the truth about women.
If your uniform, listen.
And what do you think? What do women talk about when it comes to the, physically fit wise and?
So I would say that for me, it.
Well, I'm listening now. Before
ahead. Listen.
I'm sure there's a lot of people gonna be listening now.
If you were going to try to what's the word? Like talk to me, holler at me.
Yeah, holler at you. Yeah, that'll work.
You can't be fat. You cannot even look out of shape. And at this point,
plus, there's things that go with that too, because I've noticed. And we all know, basically, people that I know, is the minute you start getting out of shape, there's other problems that go with it.
Yes, because
your mental state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like first impression is everything. So if I see that a man is taking care of himself, that means he probably got a good mind. He's got a good head on his shoulders.
I mean,
I don't have all these other. But then there's some people. Yeah, because it's a stable mind. If you stay
somebody got a stable mind and I mean a nice body and still be an a-hole.
Yeah, true. I'm not saying that not a-holes, but I mean as far as because stress. You're stressed out and you gain weight. You're unhappy with yourself.
Yes, but
you feel sluggish. You just don't have a good.
What are we willing to do to get to where we want to be? Because you can make an excuse all damn day about how I'm stressed out because I gained weight. Okay, what would you like to do about that weight gain? What is it you would like to do? Would you like to keep complaining about it, or would we like to take action and do something? And it's that flip-flopping, right? We start a diet, we start a lifestyle change. Well, oh, I'm gonna eat like this, I'm gonna be keto, whatever it is, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that. And the next minute you jump to a next one. What do you think that's doing for you mentally? If you continue to jump, if you're consistently doing that quick fix, oh, that girl says she got this pill that can make me lose this pounds and I can eat all this carbs I want. But what do you think that's really doing for your body? I mean, we flip-flopping, and it is all about where you are okay with yourself, right? So if you're not okay taking your shirt off in front of somebody and you feel like people are watching you, what are you willing to do except hiding? Right?
What if?
Go ahead.
But what if? Because I've heard people say this before. They say they use this huge. Well, my man likes me to be a little thick.
Okay.
But are you really happy?
Yes. And that's the thing. That's an excuse to stay where you are. No, don't get me wrong. Some men like they women nice and thick and do. We all have different preferences, but I'm going to tell you this. If you are not comfortable with you, it doesn't matter what any damn man wants. It doesn't, because you will never be comfortable with you. So if you can sit there and say to yourself, I am truly comfortable in where I am, then this conversation ain't for you. But if you had say that, if somebody said, hey, we're going to need you to go ahead and take your shirt off and we're going to pose for some pictures, what's your first thought process, right? Not.
But when the neighbor tells you, like, oh man, you still look good. But again,
is the neighbor seeing you with your shirt off?
And the neighbor ain't the one that's tucking me in at night. So.
Hey, at this point,
so
let the neighbor really put you up, but
yeah, and me and him probably couldn't even fit the same bed. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody does say something like that, then even though you may look better than the next person, doesn't mean that you're up here.
Yeah,
you may be in the middle at 5 and 6. If you're not pleased at that 5 and 6, you need to go up higher. And the thing that I really enjoyed about the military is the competitiveness. And I think that it doesn't need the military. You don't need that in the military if you have the self-will, the drive, but also a great partner who can also encourage you and help you along the way.
But if you only listen, it don't matter.
You're right. And I don't know who would be in it. I don't know who would do that. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But I also think that everybody is different too. So what works for you may not work for example, me. It may not work for me. What
works for you?
What works for me?
Mm-hmm.
What works for me is here's what works for me is when people would size you up all the time. And people always get on you like, look at you. Come on, man. That's all you can do? Okay, watch this. It is not to this extent, but there was a motivational speaker, I think it was Les Brown, that was talking about the cheetah. And the cheetah, the way you're looking at me.
I mean, what?
I'm going to just skip the story because sometimes it was like the prey. The prey would only run when the cheetah was chasing them.
Okay.
And when the cheetah stopped chasing, he would just stop.
So because you don't got a cheetah chasing you, you don't.
Sometimes it feels like that. But I have enough self-drive to at least get it good to stay where I need to be. But I want to be presentable, should I say. But where I want to be.
With your shirt on or shirt off?
Excuse me, you say you want me to take my shirt off.
I said,
I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're ready for that.
Who's not ready?
I don't think you're ready for that. People that your public view right now is not ready for that because Rock ain't got nothing on me.
Oh Jesus Lord! And Brandy, if you watching this, you heard what he said, girl.
I'm not there yet, but I'm not that bad. But I know I can do better.
Oh,
and that's the thing. But we all make excuses in life. We all say, "Well, I got a job to go to," and at some point, you have to just stop making these excuses. Really, you have to stop making excuses. What I like to do, the good thing about it, or in order to get better at being physically fit or at least getting in shape is when you have a family that is all on board with you. And even if you say, well, my wife probably needs to lose some weight or my husband needs to lose some weight, it's good to say, you know what? I'm going to take the first step.
Let's do it together.
Let's do it together. And when you build a team, and when somebody says, hey, let's do these 100 push-up challenge every night, and when you do it together, now you're both, it does more than one thing. It does more than just building your body and getting back to shape, but you're also doing something with your spouse. And then you also can talk about, your dreams and goals. It's so much more than that, because when you start building that bond with each other, oh man, let me tell you, I'm done talking right now. Because that's to look like, are you done?
So for those that are not in a relationship, right? It's about finding somebody to hold you accountable. It's about finding somebody to help you go to that next level. It's about finding somebody that will help you take yourself to where you need to go. And in being honest with yourself on where you want to be. So if you're saying to somebody else that, okay, I am 170 pounds and I want to lose 10 pounds. We need to actually look at, is that weight a health reason? Is it something that you want? And how are we going to get there? Because we need a plan. And those crash diets, the 10 pounds will come right back. So if you're not ready mentally to get where you want to be, that is the first step and being honest with yourself on where you are. Because everybody can say, oh, I had a baby. There's 100 people out there that have babies. And yes, everybody's body type is not the same. But where do you want to be? Do you want to make an excuses for where you are? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, when I had my babies, no, ma'am, no, we not going to get. I have a getting fat complex. Okay,
that's right.
I do not want to get fat. So
we gain weight together. We did.
When did we? When we had the babies? When me and you? When you pushed the first baby out, I pushed the second.
But what I'm saying is, it happens. It happens in relationships where because the spouse has cravings, the man. I'm not using it as an excuse, but listen. These are conversations that men have.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yo, dude, you're gaining weight, man. What's going on? Well, my wife is pregnant. Oh, okay, all right. No, they use it as an excuse. It's not right.
Wait, sir.
But you also don't want your wife to feel bad because she's gaining weight.
Whose wife? You had another wife? What the hell are you talking about? Like,
this is the general public is what I'm talking about.
All right, let's general public it. Okay. Right? Because I can only talk for myself. I didn't have no cravings for this man to go out and say he had cravings. So we're gonna start there, right? We didn't have no cravings. We didn't think it was okay to eat more. I'm telling y'all, I had a life issue of it's real. Like, it's real. I know we all have our own issues. Some people don't want to get fat. Some people don't want to be too skinny. Some people can't gain weight. Some people this. It's not. We're not the same. So one issue is not working. But the bottom line is your mental health. Where you are mentally is why you can't be where you want to be, because you are not willing to own where you are and be real with yourself. If your body type, if you're not made, okay. Nobody's big boned, but that's the word people use, right? I'm big boned, but your body type is different. Not everybody can be a size 0. Not everybody can be a size 2. Shoot, everybody can't be a 4. But when you're willing to acknowledge where you need to be, right, mentally, because every day you battling with yourself. We got people who got anorexia, bulimia, because it's something in their mind, and it's in your mind. that's telling you this is what I need. This is what I need to do. Okay, I need to throw up every meal. If I just eat it and throw it back up, it's going to be great. It ain't, because the calories are already in your body. And now you're destroying yourself to be a size 2. Let's talk about reality. Like reality, that's not the word. Like, reality. Where you want to be needs to mentally be where you need to be. Because I can sit here and say, I want to be a size 2. What do I look like trying to be a size 2? My sister gonna tell me I need to eat a steak if I try to get to a size 2, because I'm not a size 2. My body is not a size 2. And now it's back to, is that even healthy for me to be a size 2? Because yeah, hey, before I joined the military, I think I was a size 2, but I had 2 kids. And reality is like, I'm 40 years old. I can't be a size 2. I don't. That is not real. I have to kill myself to be a size 2. I ain't trying to kill myself to be a size 2 for nobody, but I will not be a size 20. So when I know mentally where I can be and where I want to be, that's the difference of where and what and how we get ready to be a part of the real world and not try to compare ourselves to somebody else. Because the minute you try to compare yourself to somebody else is the minute you take yourself mentally into a place you won't have to dig deep, like trenches. You digging deep in the trenches to get yourself out, because you're trying to compare yourself to the sidelines. The sidelines ain't gonna help you get out of that ditch. When you get into that ditch, they gonna be like, girl, I didn't tell you to do nothing. I didn't tell you to eat that cake. I didn't tell you to starve yourself, right? Because we sit here and we try to live this life of comparison. And I'm gonna be me. Can't nobody else be me. You can try hard, but you ain't gonna be me. You will struggle to be me. And I am not saying that I am better than anybody else, but my me is where I want to be. If I choose to do something for me, it's for me. But nobody else can tell me, you can't be that. You can't do that. Because mentally, I have always, growing up, I don't know when it started. Because, people were like, oh, what did you want to do when you were growing up? Like I wanted to be a lawyer. And I don't know if it's being in the house, and we never had the conversation about, oh, what do you want to be? Where do you want to go? I can't remember that far back. My mom could tell you that I've always wanted to have a boy. I don't remember them conversations. I don't remember that. But even when in high school, you go out for things and you want something, it's like, can somebody tell you can't do something? What's your reaction when somebody says, you can't do that? Mine is to watch me. Because at this point in our life, it is 2021. We have gone through so much. There is so much potential in every single person. You choose to sit on the sidelines for somebody else, and they're going to pass you by. But you always trying to grab out to them like, no, come back over here. Come. This looks better over here. Let's just look at everybody else do it and talk about them together and complain together. Because that's where we're comfortable. But somebody else's comfort zone ain't your comfort zone. And that's not where you need to be. You need to choose to take yourself out of somebody else's comfort zone and strive for what you want. And don't let family, friends, anybody tell you, don't dream too big. Don't dream too big, because that's not what we do. We're not dreamers. We just sit on the sidelines and tell people, we was dealt a different card growing up. We didn't have that growing up. Cool. That's cool. You didn't have to have it, but I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna have it. That should be your response. It's cool. You didn't have to. You don't have to drive the car. I'll drive the car and I'll worry about my payments. I'll worry about how I'm gonna take care of me and mine. You don't have to worry about that. So it comes down to you mentally, and stop trying to look for somebody else to help you get, and not help you get where you want to be or need to be, to give you that dream that you want, right? So you could say, I want to be, what is it? A football player, right? You like, oh, well, I need to be like that person. Run your own race. And I'm not saying it has to be a football player. That's the first thing that came to my mind. But I want to be an artist. Paint your own pictures. Stop trying to copy somebody else's work. Be who you are. Don't try to take, yes, we all, there, 100 of us can paint the same picture. We're all different though, right? It's so many people in the world. Somebody may come to me for coaching. So, and we might not work together. We are not all compatible. There's always somebody else that can help you out there. It's what you choose. Your choices is what gets you where you need to be. So if you choose to sit on the sidelines, sit in the back, don't be mad when somebody pass you up. Or what did you say? They stole my dream. They stole my idea, right? Can't nobody steal your idea. Because if you ain't tell nobody, if your dream and your idea is in your head, how did somebody else steal it? How did they steal it? So in reality, God gives us all gifts and ideas and purposes in life. And if you choose to sit down and not pursue your passion and your purpose in life, he gonna give it to the next man. He gonna give it to the next man. Because you didn't take action. And that's what it all boils down to. We need to take action on the things we want and not sit there and talk about it. And stop creating crap, right? Stop creating things to distract you from what you really want, because that's what we do. We create things, we create little projects here, we create little projects there, but the dream is sitting back here and you ain't even touched it. But you done did 1,000 things, if 1,000 things is a thing, but you done did 100,000 things other than what's sitting, because it's behind you, because you ain't got to look, right? If you put it behind you, you don't got to look. We could just look forward and create more crap to do instead of pursuing what we truly want to do, our passion and purpose. But who else are we going to blame once we don't do what we want to do? Somebody else that pursued theirs, or you blame yourself? Because we blamers. We blame everybody. We will sit there and be like, well, my wife wouldn't let me do this. My wife wouldn't let me do that. Is that reality, or is that something you created in your head to tell everybody because you don't want to own the fact that you didn't do what you needed to do? So think about that. When we go out there saying, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. Oh, why you ain't do it? Well, my wife don't want me to go there, and my wife don't want me to go here. She won't let me do this. Is that a real thing, or is that a created thing? My husband don't nobody get their feelings hurt. My husband won't let me do this. My husband won't let me do that. Will they really? Because at this point, we choose to be in a place where we're unhappy or we're comfortable. So what do you need to do for you to take you to the next level? Because you can always sit in the same place, but don't blame anybody else if you're still in that same place a year from now. And everybody asking, what happened, man? I thought you was going to do this. What do you do? What do you do? So next week, we may not do this. I'm having some surgery on Wednesday, and I don't know if 5 o'clock I'm gonna be ready though, like face wise, but all up in here. But if my anesthesia is gonna wear off for me to do how I'm gonna feel after that. If I will be, we'll be on here. If not, we will see y'all on the flip side. All right. Have a great night.